Welcome to the Ultraflex Football podcast, where we have fun with our friends while we talk about football and anything else we want to talk about. I'm your host, Anthony Sutton. With me, as always, is Rob Green.
What's up?
And Ryan Wheeler is starting us off this week.
Oh yeah, hi everybody. Forgot to say hi. So, did you know that this goes back to I remember like 4 weeks ago. I actually remembered this. Did you know? Because you guys brought something up and you said something about meat in the episode, and I said I got something for you guys, and then I never did it. So this is it. All right. Did you know that the rarest or most red steaks are actually bloodless, or at least mostly bloodless? The red juice that you see that pours onto your plate is made up of 75% water, and it's also a protein found in the muscle tissue called myoglobin. That's what makes it red. It's not blood. The reason that myoglobin is red is because, like hemoglobin, the iron in them, yes, turns red when it is exposed to oxygen. Most mammals have a lot of myoglobin, which is why meat comes from mammals like beef, lamb, and pork is called red meat, and meat that comes from animals with minimal myoglobin, like most poultry, or no myoglobin, like fish, is white meat.
Dropping knowledge. What makes it taste so good?
I think that's subjective.
Well, Ryan doesn't like meat, so
I like some meat.
I want it that way though. Like I want it rare, red blood, or
that's
whatever.
not blood. We just found that out. Yeah.
Whatever you just said. I want that all over my plate.
I
sauce.
just said
Myoglobin.
It's not blood. It's myoglobin. See,
I want myoglobin all over my plate.
I need a definition of myoglobin from the book.
I've said myoglobin so many times that it now doesn't sound like a word to me anymore, and I've gone over this too, but I forgot what that was.
Why you taught us that? Yeah, what was that word, Ryan?
I don't know. We're gonna have to visit that again later. I forgot.
All right. Thanks for dropping knowledge as always. We are gonna jump over to our drafts. We're back to our original spots. So Ryan is starting us off with this draft. Then Rob and myself, as always, it's going to be a snake draft. And this time we are doing comedy movies. So I think this is the first one where we might have some disagreement in our picking and what's actually funny. So with 101, who do you have first, Ryan?
All right, we just started, and I told you I have segment music for this, man. You forgot to let me play the music.
I just get too excited, and
I know, you got so excited. All right. Here we go. My 101 for comedy movies might be controversial, but I'm going Magic Mike XXL. There is a scene in that movie where a guy by the name of Big Dick Richie enters a convenience store, and he's got to make the cashier laugh. And I think that might be one of the best scenes in any movie ever. And he walks in, and I Want It That Way is playing by the Backstreet Boys, and he's doing it's a movie about male strippers, in case people aren't familiar.
Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Okay. There's two of those movies?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
But he does his little routine while I Want It That Way by Backstreet Boys is playing, and it's amazing. So that is my 101.
Rob, your first selection.
Well, it wasn't on my list, so you might have been able to wait a little bit, but maybe the listeners out there like that choice.
I hope so.
So I think this is a tough draft to have a slam dunk top pick anyway, because comedy movies are subjective, right? What people find funny.
Very.
I think this duo is very funny together. That's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. And I think their best movie is Step Brothers. So I'm going to take Step Brothers with my first pick.
There you go, Rob.
Don't touch my drum set.
That was on my list. I agree. I get 3 and 4 here. I get the snake. I'm gonna go with number 3 as The Hangover, the original
Oh,
one.
all
I
right.
feel like the first one was a classic, and I was actually just talking to a friend about going to Vegas. So that right now is top of mind, and I think it's very, very funny. So The
Hey,
Hangover,
didn't we go see that movie together? I feel like I remember sneaking you into the theater there, Anthony,
we did.
because you weren't old enough yet.
I'm just a baby. And I get ID'd everywhere I go, no matter what. I still get ID'd when I go to a bar.
No one else comes close to your baby face, bro.
I know. It's kind of impressive, actually.
Start growing out that mustache.
Number 4, pick number 4, my second pick is going to be Wedding Crashers.
Mm.
Okay.
Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn, Wedding Crashers to me is a classic. And the beginning is fun too if you've seen it.
You're a big wedding guy, right? So that makes sense.
Yeah, heck yeah. Rob, who do you have for your second pick?
Well, I was gonna take The Hangover, so now I'm kind of trying to decide which way to go here. I think I will take Super Troopers for my second pick.
Ooh, that's a good one. Dang, I didn't write that one. I totally forgot about that. That was a great pick.
Yeah, that was like a last second one I wrote down, and I was like, I feel like you guys might have that on your list, so we'll go Super Troopers.
I had it. That's one. There's some movies that I didn't find funny growing up that now that I know a lot more, they're a lot better. And I feel like that's one of them.
I think a lot of comedy movies need more than one watch to realize how funny they are, because I think you miss a lot at first.
Especially if you've seen at first as a kid or younger.
Where you didn't catch a lot of the humor, definitely.
For
All right,
sure.
Ryan, what do you got for your second pick?
Oh, man, I get
And
the
third.
turn here. Oh, boy. All right, so I'm going to go probably one of my favorite movies ever is Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Yep.
That movie is just pure gold.
That was on my list. Good choice.
It was? I can't believe that was on your list. I thought for sure I was going to be the only.
Well, where I struggle with is I love Jim Carrey, but I love a lot of his movies, and I don't know that one stands out more than the other. So I was like, I think I'm just going to leave him off my list altogether.
Yeah.
But that was probably the one I would have went with if I did.
Oh, good.
Pick one.
Oh, good. All right. I have, man. I think I'm just gonna go with Deadpool on the turn here.
Okay.
That movie's hilarious.
That's a good one. And it's not like typically the comedy genre, right?
It's like action.
Yeah.
Comedy, but it's very funny. Ryan Reynolds.
I think there's a third one coming out soon.
No. Oh, that's awesome. Can't wait to see that.
Something to look forward to.
Tony, what do you got, big boy?
No, it's Rob.
Skipping my third pick? Come on, man.
Oh, Rob, what do you got, big boy?
I'll say I do like the only big boy though.
All right. Noted.
Okay. So I will go with Groundhog Day. So I like the whole time loop idea. Being trapped in the time loop is a fun thing there, and Bill Murray's pretty funny. Weatherman reporting on Groundhog's Day over and over. It's a good one. Classic.
I'm gonna follow that up with something very similar. Also Bill Murray, sports related. I'm gonna go with the Caddyshack. The first
2 in a row.
Third pick. And then I do have a bunch of honorable mentions, so I'm not the last pick, so I'm not going to say them yet. But I have a couple other sports ones that would be honorable mention. But I feel like I've laughed the hardest during this movie out of the ones I have remaining. It's not sports. I'm going to go with We Are the Millers.
Nice. I forgot about that movie.
It was on there.
We just rewatched that recently. That's a good one.
Very good. All right.
Rob's up. My list is complete with The Hangover, Wedding Crashers, Caddyshack, and We Are the Millers. Rob, who's rounding out your team?
So I think we should all read our honorable mentions afterwards just to see how many different ones we got out there. I have a couple I like a lot, but since it is so close to Christmas, I think I'll take the funniest Christmas movie, Elf. So I'll add another Will Ferrell movie to my list.
I was watching that the other day. That is hilarious.
Yeah, we just rewatched it too. Time of year, it just seems right to add a Christmas one on there.
I had it on my list.
Is that the direction you were going?
I had two. Yeah, I had two Will Ferrell movies, and
I
they're
didn't
both
think
fun.
we'd get a snipe on this one. Not gonna lie. So
Yeah,
I'm glad I sniped you. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought I was getting Will Ferrell because you already took one.
You still got some good ones out there.
Yeah. Instead, I'm gonna go. Steve Carell. Is that how you say his last name? Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
Yep. I'm debating between two. I like two of them a lot. Probably go 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I had that on my list.
Okay.
Dinner for Schmucks, though, is a very funny movie.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's very good.
Ryan, who'd you have as your honorable mention? You have any?
Jumanji with Kevin Hart and The Rock. That movie was awesome. Horrible Bosses and Tropic Thunder.
Horrible Bosses is honestly, I'm surprised I didn't pick it. That's one of my favorite movies.
That is a good one. So I had my honorable mention: Superbad, The Big Lebowski, Bridesmaid, Anchorman, Talladega Nights, and I Love You, Man.
Oh, I Love You, Man.
I almost went with it, but the Christmas season, I had to take Elf. I don't know if I've ever watched a movie more than I Love You, Man, though, so I probably should have taken it.
Yeah.
There was a time when I could probably quote that whole movie.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies ever. I'm mad at myself for not taking that.
It's been a long time since I watched it, though.
Yeah. I like Adam Sandler a lot, which is pretty apparent in my list here. Because I've got The Grown-Ups, Billy Madison, Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore. That's all for Adam Sandler. I have 21 Jump Street, White Chicks,
good one,
and Meet the Parents, which honestly I'm surprised I didn't pick that either because that was hilarious.
You only get 4 choices.
I know, it's hard. It's hard. But all right, that's our draft. We're gonna hop over to the football portion of the Ultraflex Football podcast, and we are getting close to the last quarter of the year. So we're looking ahead and looking at the playoffs. So we are using the ESPN playoff machine to pick all of the last games. And before I say anything else, I can see Ryan staring at me. So that means I talked through his intro music.
What?
So give me the intro music. One day I won't just talk through your intro music.
That's all right, bro. I forgive you. I was just going to let it go. I was like, well, we passed it. It's too late now.
It's got to be you every time.
Got to be you.
But the three of us pick the remaining games, and we will be going over who is seated where, who made the wild card, and who missed out on the playoffs. Ryan, you want to walk us through your division winners and wild card teams for the AFC?
Division winners for the AFC East, I had Buffalo finishing at 13-4. They took the 1 seed. The 2 seed, I have the Kansas City Chiefs taking the AFC West at 13-4 also, but Buffalo holds the tiebreaker between them. The 3rd seed, I had Baltimore at 11-6, and the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans, I had at 8-9. So basically losing out almost, practically. And the reason I did that was because I think the Titans
vibes have changed quick since last week, Ryan.
No.
Titans fan saying that they're magical right now.
Listen, listen, they can beat anybody. I've said this so many times over and over again. They'll beat anybody. But I wanted to see what happens if I basically made the Titans lose out and Jacksonville win the majority of their games and the Titans still make it through. So
which game did you have them win in this
bro,
scenario?
you can't ask me these questions. I don't remember. I deleted the website when I went through and did it, so I have no idea. But I think I had them win one more.
Yeah, because they're at 7 wins right now.
Yeah. I think I had them beat Jacksonville once because
they still play twice, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you remember? I'm going to ask a similar question to Rob. Do you remember who you have the Chiefs losing to?
Yeah, the Raiders. Spoiler alert, I had the Raiders winning out.
That's so. Yours is the most interesting.
They're hot. They won out like 4 or 5 games last week to make or last year to make the playoffs.
Yes, and you have them doubling that this year because they've already won 3 in a row, and you say they're going to win
on fire, man.
And I had this conversation with you earlier.
Mostly was because I wanted the Bills to get the 1 seed still, but I had them. I couldn't have them win out because it just felt like being a homer. So
right, but I said if the Raiders win 8 straight entering the playoffs, they just sneak in. But at that point, are they perceived as like the best team in the NFL? Well, they win 8 straight. They got to beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chargers.
Here's the thing, though, with the AFC, all 7 teams that make the playoffs, most likely, unless the Patriots or Jets squeak in there, are probably going to be looked at as threats to potentially win it, the AFC. I mean, looking at our picks, we got Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Tennessee. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But Miami, the Chargers, Vegas, you guys have Baltimore in there.
Ryan,
I think all of those teams could make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Ryan, so you had Bills, Kansas City, Ravens, Tennessee. Who were your wildcard teams?
Wildcard teams: 5th seed Los Angeles Chargers at 11-6, 6th seed Cincinnati Bengals 11-6, 7th seed Miami Dolphins 10-7. Do we even have to do the NFC? Does anybody care about the NFC? I mean, the AFC is going to win the Super Bowl, right? It's either going to be the Chiefs or the Bills.
Well, I'll say I hope so, but the Eagles or Cowboys are probably going to have the easiest path to the Super Bowl. So there's 2 ways to look at it, though. If you do come out of the tough AFC, maybe you're battle tested for the Super Bowl, or is the easier path the better one? Path of least resistance to the championship. Yeah. We'll see.
Rob, who do you have for your division winners?
So I had Buffalo as the 1 seed at 13-4. I also had Kansas City at 13-4. Obviously, the Bills have the tiebreaker there with their head-to-head win. 3rd seed, I had the Bengals winning the AFC North at 12-5, and 4th was the Titans at 9-8.
You guys both have the Titans losing some games.
Yeah, I'm going 2-3 down the stretch. I got them splitting with Jacksonville and beating the Chargers and losing their other 2. I want to say.
So you got the Bills running the table? Or no, you said 13-4, right?
Yeah, I had them lose to Cincinnati, but I had Cincinnati lose, I want to say maybe one of their... I think they have 2 against the Browns still, maybe. I could be wrong.
Yes, they do. Yeah, this week and then I think week 17.
Yeah, so I think I had them split those, and that was how they fell. Because if they would win one of those, then they would actually be the 1 seed. The Bills would be the 2, and the Chiefs would be the 3.
And then who were your 5, 6, and 7?
So the way that played out was Miami got the 5 seed at 11-6. The Vegas Raiders at 10-7 with winning out, and the Chargers 10-7 as well, getting the 7 seed. And I believe they had the tiebreaker, in this one over Baltimore, who I also had finishing 10-7. So going 2-3 down the stretch, missing Lamar for potentially 3 weeks hurts them. They haven't looked great even with him in. So I think they could be that surprise team that we kind of see every year fizzle out at the end.
Sounds like the Chargers to me, but
yeah, but they're already 6-6, so it wouldn't be a shock to see them miss.
Yeah, that's true.
I was actually surprised to see in my picks that they did make it because I went in thinking, yeah, the Chargers aren't going to make it. They blow it. Like that's Charger football. They find ways to lose. But surprisingly, I had them going 3-2 down the stretch, and they got in on tiebreakers. So it probably comes down to if the Jets can win enough games this weekend, having a head start at 7-5.
I have very similar teams, so I'm not going to go through my whole thing just for time. But I guess my biggest difference is I have the Chiefs winning out. I don't think they're really play anyone good, and I think they actually went out pretty easily. And the Bills play the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bengals. So I unfortunately have the Bills losing one of those. I'm not being the perfect fan in this scenario. I don't believe in my team to run the table. So I think they lose that. And in my scenario, they would play the Los Angeles Chargers as the 7 seed. And I've said a couple times now, I think the Bills have a good enough roster to beat anybody. So when I'm looking at playoff games, I'm mostly concerned at what quarterback am I going to play against, or the Bills are going to play against. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous about playing Justin Herbert. So we'll see what happens. Rob, you want to kick us off with the NFC?
Yeah. So I had the Eagles as the 1 seed at 15-2. The 2 seed, the Vikings, 13-4. The 49ers drop a few games, go to 11-6, but still get the 3 seed. And 4th, I have Tampa Bay, surprise, in that terrible division. Actually finishing 10-7, so I think they get hot here at the end.
What do you have for 5, 6, 7?
So for the wild cards, I have Dallas at 14-3, Seattle at 10-7, and Washington at 9-7-1 to round it
We
out.
all have the same teams, right? The NFC.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we have a little bit different order. So
we do have a different order, but we had the same teams.
I feel like the NFC is kind of already set, and it feels like the wild card teams, maybe other than Dallas, I feel like any of the wild card teams in the AFC could potentially beat whoever they play. And I feel like Washington and Seattle, in my opinion, wouldn't really stand a chance. I mean, it's the NFL, they do, but they're not going to be favored by any chance.
I think you really got 2 spots for Washington, Seattle, and the Giants. I think those 3 teams are fighting for 2 wild cards.
Yeah.
Seattle could actually jump the 49ers if they struggle without Jimmy G. So it could end up being the 49ers that are that wild card team, but we'll see.
I'm interested just to see how I think San Fran has probably the best roster in the NFL. We'll see what happens with the quarterback. I feel like they're probably. I want to say when they had Jimmy G or Trey, they had their best roster in my opinion. Their defense, like I was texting you guys the other day, their defense just looks different. Like they remind me of the Alabama or Georgia teams that are in the SEC. Speaking of which, the top 4 for the college playoff is out, which I'm excited that there's some new people in there. So, but yeah, San Fran just looks different when they play defense, and it's fun to watch. Ryan, who do you have
for what?
The division
NFC.
Okay, sorry. I have the Philadelphia Eagles as the 1 seed. I have the San Francisco 49ers as the 2, the Vikings as the 3, and Tampa Bay as the 4. Rob, you said you had Dallas, the 5th seed, at 14-3, right?
Yeah.
That
stinks for them, doesn't it?
Bizarre. I have them at 12-5, so not much worse, but that's crazy.
14-3 would win every other division in football.
Yeah,
except for the NFC East, if that's how it played out.
So bizarre.
And their prize would be to go on the road in our scenario and play Tom Brady.
And play the Bucs, yeah.
Yep. So I have similar teams. I have the Eagles, Minnesota at 2nd seed, San Fran, and Tampa. So I won't talk about it too much more. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It's just fun that we are heading down the home stretch, and the Bills are the number 1 seed in the AFC as of right now. And that's all that really matters. Go Bills.
The one team that had Dallas's number was Tampa Bay, right? Beginning of the year, first game. I guess it was the beginning of the year. So
yeah, it was the first Sunday night or Monday night game, one of those.
Yeah. So that was the one.
The Bucs team just isn't really the same at this point.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see. You never count Brady out. So
Are confidence level 10 picks. I continue to struggle. My confidence level is 0 right now. I think I haven't gotten a single one right since the
We're going
first
to
week.
lower this down to like confidence level 8.
Yeah. But that being said, it's a new week. It's a new chance to win some cash. So my pick this week is going to be the Steelers and Ravens under 37. Lamar's not playing. They both have good defenses. They're both going to run the ball. Both going to have a hard time moving the ball, in my opinion. So I'll go with the under of the Steelers and Ravens. What do you have, Rob?
I'm taking an under as well. I'll take under 47.5 Cleveland at Cincinnati. I think that the high of the win over the Chiefs can lead to a letdown a little bit here against the Browns. I don't know if they lose the game, but they might struggle to get up for this game a little bit, and the Browns keep it close in a low-scoring game.
And I took the under 41.5 for the Jags at the Titans.
Was there anything, going back to Rob's, was there anything better than watching Deshaun Watson struggle? I don't know why that was so annoying.
That was nice. If their
Especially against-
defense didn't have a pick six, a fumble six, and a punt return, they might have actually lost to the Texans. So,
yeah, I would say especially to the Texans. That was bittersweet. All right. We are now jumping over to Rob's segment. So cue the music.
ooh, yeah. Get your pen and paper.
Oh, crap.
Got it. I'm still up 2 for those folks keeping track at home.
I'm keeping track at home.
I have a very scary question today.
All right.
No, not really, but it is about a phobia. So, question 1, if you're ready.
Ready.
Cynophobia is the extreme fear of which animal?
I would have guessed it was a fear of signs. So, was that
guesses?
a bad joke? Okay. Cynophobia.
I'll go. I don't know why or how this could happen, but I'm going to go with dogs. I don't know.
Cynophobia. I have no idea.
All right, here's your choices. A, cat. B, cow. C, dog. Or D, pig.
I'm going with C.
Swinophobia. What was B?
Cow. Ryan's really thinking on this one. He had his thinking face on.
Yep. All right.
Good to go.
C.
So Anthony says dog. Ryan says cow. Is that correct? Your letters
Correct.
are backwards. It's hard to see.
Oh,
Anthony's right. The answer is dog.
Come
I don't really know what the cyno means. Yeah, apparently dog, I guess. But I was hoping one of you guys would guess pig because it sounds like swine, but it actually is swinophobia. That is the fear of pigs.
really?
I was hoping one of you guys would just guess it because it sounded close. The fear of cows is bovinophobia.
Bovinophobia.
And another one that I don't understand it, but the fear of cats is ailurophobia. Don't know. So that's it.
I don't want to lose you now, Ryan. Come on, you got to get some of these right.
Illure.
Yeah, I had to write down like EYE-LURE just so I could pronounce it right. Ailurophobia.
Holy moly!
Because the way it's spelled, it's AILURO. I was like, how do you even say that?
Sounds like Spanish.
Yeah.
Got a Spanish eyes in there. Illure.
I'll take the 3-question lead going
It's a
into
strange
question
one
2.
for sure. But yeah, how is anyone afraid of dogs? I guess maybe if you got bit when you were young.
I'm
You're a
afraid of
mailman.
dogs.
Or if you're a mailman.
Guilty. Oh, we just let the cat out of the bag. Now people know my day job.
Oops. I feel like
That's
you've
all
mentioned
right.
it before, haven't you?
Nope. Not on this podcast. I'm your
Well,
friend.
sorry if you didn't want that
mailman.
getting out there.
That's all right. I don't care.
I just said if you're a mailman, you'd be afraid of dogs. I never said
Well-
Ryan Wheeler is a mailman.
Well, dogs are terrifying as a mailman, so I guess I have cynophobia when I'm doing my job.
You ready for question 2? Ryan, you need one here.
Not really, dude. I just feel like I can't get out of the hole that I keep digging.
I think, well, this is kind of what happened last week, wasn't it? Anthony got the first one and you got the
Yeah.
second one. So you need this one.
I
I
need,
need you tonight, Rob. Give me an easy one.
Show me a soda.
All right. So, Ryan, you might have an advantage here. This is a Disney question in a way. So, question 2. What was the name of the cartoon where Mickey Mouse made his first appearance?
What?
The Fun House.
Oh,
The Mickey Mouse Funhouse.
I'm gonna go with the
The new ones are just remakes, right?
something
Yeah.
about a train or a boat.
Okay. You want some choices?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
A. The Gallopin' Gaucho. B. Mickey's Choo Choo. C. Plain Crazy. Or D. Steamboat Willie.
There's both of those. I said
I know there is. I was trying not to laugh as I said them.
train and a boat. Come on.
I'm going D. Hey, there you go.
So you
we
may
both
have been
got
on the right
D.
track, or you may have just been wrong altogether because it was neither of those. The answer is C. Plain Crazy.
No.
So- I thought it was Steamboat Willie. I always have. So I was just curious about this after I saw the answer was Plain Crazy. I had to look into it. It was created in 1926 as a silent cartoon and was only shown in certain places before it was re-released with sound a few years later. So Steamboat Willie came out in 1928, but was the first Mickey cartoon with synchronized sound, which is where he started to gain popularity. So he was actually on Plain Crazy first. And then the Gallopin' Gaucho, and then Steamboat Willie.
And I mean, Mickey now is larger than life. So, like, when did he? Especially, I have a 20-month-old. All we do is watch Mickey. Like, when did he branch off to Funhouse and Clubhouse and every house in the world?
I feel like a lot of the spin-offs like that probably were like the 80s, 90s, where they started to get popular like that. Just because
When do you
I've been
stop?
watching a lot of the Christmas specials, and I noticed those came out in the 90s. So
When do you stop keeping track of your kid's age in terms of months?
I was talking to Megan about this earlier. I think
2
once they get
years.
two- Yeah.
Is it?
It's definitely 2 years, yeah.
Okay. So you don't have like a 5.5-year-old kid that's like, oh, it's me. Oh god, that's
66
math.
You
I
would say
shouldn't have done
like
that.
60 something months, yeah.
A 68-month kid.
66-month-old kid. No,
'Cause there's,
I don't
mean,
think you even say 25. You could, but I feel like you would just say, yeah, he's 2.
Okay, so we stop after 2. Got it.
we all know this now. Well, I guess Ryan's about to experience this because he has the youngest. There's a big difference between saying someone's 1 and someone is 13 months old or someone is 21 months old.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What is I think she's almost 16 months now, and from 1 to 16 months, she's
They
like a totally
change
different
so much.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many milestones they hit and just the changes that happen that first year and even up till 2 years. I've noticed a lot less from like 2 and on now, but it's very fast at the beginning.
Makes sense
We
to
got a
me.
3-question lead. Going back over to our Ultraflex DFS head starts. I'm purposely talking slower to see if Ryan's going to play any music.
That music fit the moment perfectly. Like that was great.
Again, if you're new, we are trying to pick FanDuel players that are under $6,000 as an average. We're trying to use up less than $18,000 of your salary. If you're new to FanDuel, you have $60,000 to spend. So we're trying to get you some bargain players. That way you can fill out the rest of your roster and hopefully win some money. Last week I had Chase Claypool for $5,500. I figured someone had to catch the ball with Mooney being out, and Justin Fields just decides to run the ball 70 yards every other play and not really pass the ball. So it didn't work out. He had 5 receptions, which is like, okay, cool. But it was for 28 yards. So not ideal. This week I have James Cook at $6,100. He is slowly taking over more and more reps in the Bills' backfield. It was encouraging to see the last 2 games. It seems like the injury has made it so Josh Allen's more, maybe it's just the way they're calling their offense, more willing to dump the ball down. And the way defenses have been playing them, it's been open pretty much all year, and he's deciding to take it. James Cook had 6 receptions last week. He's going to continue to get targets. He's going to continue to get some rushing attempts. Hopefully, the Bills are beating up on the Jets and they got to run out the ball in the second half, and he gets a touchdown. So my pick this week is James Cook. Ryan,
And going back to your heart, taking a Bill.
I was gonna say, how nice is it as a Bills fan to have a running back that actually looks like a legitimate NFL running back? Like just the speed and the burst. We haven't had that in a long time.
I agree. I will say Singletary has this year and the end of last year, he's been running the ball hard, but he's also like 5'6",
small and slow. He's not.
He's
not
been
your
better than
NFL running back. He's pretty good, but not what
I agree. Singletary's been better than I thought he could ever get the last handful of games. So this year and some of last year. But yeah, I agree. Just looking at James Cook run the ball, just like, okay, that looks different than Singletary.
He's got a different gear to him. So speed is nice to see.
Brian, who do you have?
Well, first of all, last week I said Dameon Pierce. He did okay. He had 11 points. 18 carries, though. They fed him the rock. He had 3 targets, I believe. Caught all 3 of the balls. All 3 of his balls. Okay. For 22 yards. He had 18 carries for 73 yards. So, like I said, good for 11 points. This week, we're going Nico Collins. On FanDuel, he is the wide receiver 35. So we're getting down there. He costs $5,900. Last week, he had 10 targets and a touchdown. Don't mind that he only caught 3 of those 10 balls. Just pretend like that didn't happen.
We like to see those target numbers.
Yes.
The catches will come with those targets.
That's right. Hopefully, Brandon Cook sits again.
Actual production doesn't actually count.
That's right, man. It's the potential. See, he had the potential, and now he can follow through this week. And hopefully, if Brandon Cook sits again, he'll be another target hog once again against a defense that gives up the 14th most points to wide receivers in the Dallas Cowboys.
All right. So hopefully you ignored my pick last week once it was announced that Najee Harris was playing, because that just completely shot any value that Benny Snell or Jalen Warren had. So I won't even talk about their stats because it doesn't matter. Najee Harris played pretty much the whole game.
To be fair to you, before you go on, we do this. We record this Wednesday night, so some of the injury information isn't accurate for us.
That is correct.
And I want to be extra fair to us. This week we're recording on Tuesday night, so this matters because a lot of things can change from Tuesday night till game time.
Thanks, Dad. My dad's coming in town tomorrow. That's why we're doing it a day early.
Dad ruined it.
So my pick this week, I'm going to go to the Lions and take DJ Chark versus Minnesota Vikings, who allow the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers and were just absolutely torched by Garrett Wilson last week for 8 catches and 162 yards, and could have been another long touchdown that Mike White just missed him on. Chark had 5 catches for 98 yards last week, played 84% of the snaps, and he's only going to cost you $5,700 on FanDuel. So think he's a good value pick this week in a game with, I believe, the highest over-under of the week. It's about 53 points. There should be some offensive fireworks and hopefully a fun back-and-forth game with some long touchdowns.
Awesome. Jump over to my segment for this week. So it's time for a dad joke.
All right. Yeah, fine. I don't want to steal your thunder, but we did forget something at the beginning of the episode that we should probably mention real quick. And it was the album that for the song titles that we did last episode.
Yeah.
We never brought that up. In case anyone did catch it, the song titles that we had to get in there. I
If
feel
you
like
listened all the way to the end, it should have been a dead giveaway.
yeah, when we did our oh god. All right.
Round 2 from Anthony there.
It was In Sync. I don't remember the album title. Do you guys?
I don't off the top of my head.
All right. We'll have to or find it, but it was
It
In
was the
Sync.
one from 2000, and it has
Oh, it was No Strings Attached.
No Strings Attached.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes. So that was the song or the album that we did last week, and if you've been paying attention this week, I feel like it's been pretty obvious the album that we're doing in this episode as well, because we are carrying that through every single episode.
If you listen closely, I think we got a couple more to go.
We do 2 more. Tony?
Similar genre. No story this time. Straight to the joke. What did the 0 say to the 8? That belt looks good on you.
Nice.
I got a better one. That was a warm up. So yeah, I sent out the bad comic first.
Right on.
I'm going through. I have a story now. My Grayson, dropping kids' names now. 20 whatever month old is just a spaz. The dude just cannot stop falling down. He slams his head off the floor. The dude is just crazy. So I saw this joke and I had to say it. What do you call it when a snowman throws a tantrum?
Sorry.
Ryan, do you know?
No.
Oh, okay. What do you call a snowman that throws a tantrum? Yeah, I like that one. That was a good one.
Oh. Like I said, first one, that was the opener. He's garbage, but the second one, I came to play.
And it fits the time of year.
And it fits my life right now because our babysitter is sick with COVID, and my last 2 days have been kind of crazy. Time to pick some games.
You gonna tell your babysitter that I don't want you back?
If she keeps getting sick and potentially giving my children an illness when we are specifically paying her more money than daycare to not deal with illness, then yes, I will say that. But I'm not upset at all. I'm not fired up about this.
We can tell you seem really calm. See, this is that built up rage. I don't know if people listen, but I said that you were like Andy in The Office because you let your rage build up and then it just kind of starts falling out of you in ways
I need to
unexpected.
get the text message back out of what you actually said.
Careful now, it's bubbling up. Careful.
All right, let's pick some games.
Lady, go!
Last week, Ryan won the week. He had 9 correct. Rob had 7, and I had 7.
Getting back into it.
Let's go.
For the season, Rob has 107 correct. I have 94, and Ryan has 93. So Ryan and I are still battling it out for the punishment at the end of the year. But new week, Ryan gets to pick the order again.
Change it up or keep it the same.
If I could remember what the order was, I would like to go back to that. Do we remember?
I think it was me, Ryan, Rob, Ryan.
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
I know Anthony was first because you wanted him to have the pressure of being the first one to make the choice.
That's right. Yep. I'm going to go with that again.
So you're picking last or I'm picking last?
Oh,
you are, right?
I'm going last. Yep.
Okay. We're going to start it out Thursday Night Football. The Las Vegas Raiders are at the LA Rams +6.
Raiders.
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 On to Sunday games, Jets at Bills -9.5.
That's a lot, but the Bills.
It is a lot. I will take the Bills as well.
I'm going to go Jets.
Eagles at Giants +7.
Giants.
Eagles.
Eagles.
Vikings at Lions -2.
Vikings.
Going Lions.
Lions.
Browns at Bengals -6.
Similar to what you said about the letdown, I'm going Browns.
Yeah, I mean, I already said Browns are going to keep it close, so Browns.
Let's make it a Brown party.
Houston at Dallas -17.
I will go. That's a lot of points, but Houston's
That's so
bad,
many.
so I'm going Dallas.
I'm taking Houston. Just give me a late cover. I don't know.
I'm going to go Houston.
All right, Jacksonville at Tennessee -3.5.
My love for the Jags is wearing off. I'm gonna go Tennessee.
No.
If you pick against them, you might have a better chance of them actually pulling it off. Titans for me.
Give me the Jags.
Little reverse psychology kind of action going on there, huh?
I like that.
Baltimore at Pittsburgh -2.5.
Pittsburgh. I'll pick the home team when they don't have Lamar.
I'll take Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Kansas City at Denver +9.
Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Denver.
Carolina at Seattle -4.5.
Seattle.
Seahawks for me.
Carolina.
Bucks at 49ers -3.5.
And I'm gonna go Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa Bay.
49ers.
Dolphins at Chargers +3.5.
I'll go Chargers. They got to be desperate.
The Dolphins.
Give me the Dolphins.
And up last, Monday Night Football, New England at the Arizona Cardinals +1.5.
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona for me too. This line confuses me a little bit, but
Yeah. Give me the Patriots.
I think they're still giving too much credit to the Belichick name and the Patriots name there. I know the Cardinals aren't a good team, but fresh off their bye, the Patriots did nothing against the Bills.
Well, it was the Bills that finally got to practice for the first time in like 3 weeks and remind people that they are still a dominant team.
That off. Like they didn't even throw the ball like that 10 yards down the field. Like they were just so limited on offense.
It seemed like Belichick was just ready to concede the game at the end, not even using his timeouts. He's like, yeah, we're not getting back into this. He knows his offense isn't good enough.
Unfortunately, last week we fell again for the dog of the week, so we're below 500. Shout out to Brett, one of our listeners, for sending in his picture of Casper. If you have a dog picture that you want to send in, again, the only important thing for the dog of the week is the picture of the dog. You can send it to us on Twitter at UltraflexFP, at UltraflexRob, at UltraflexRyan, or at UltraflexSutton. The dog of the week this week for us is going to be the dog pound. See what I did? The Browns +6 to keep it close against the Cincinnati Bengals. Another week for Watson to get used to that offense. I am by no means rooting for Deshaun Watson, but I do think they keep it close. And again, send in the pictures of your dogs. Heading over to the listener question of the week.
Listener question of the week. What if you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
I'll go first.
Anthony, I was going to say, we brought this up earlier, and I feel like Anthony's about to be spicy, so I can't wait to hear this. I've been waiting all day to hear this.
I said I'm going to get deep. I feel like when I say I'm going to get deep, you guys instantly think I'm going to get inappropriate.
Yes.
'Cause most of the time that's true. But I'm going to get deep in a different type of meaning, I guess. My superpower, and I realize it could be very, very, very bad. I wish I could see the future. And obviously, there's a lot of
Okay.
bad that can come with that. When people may pass away, you may know something bad happens. But I feel like I would live my life a lot differently if
You want to make some
everyone would
money, win the lottery? Like,
win the lottery. No, I just feel like everyone, including myself, would live differently if we knew in 8 years from now we were going to pass away. Um, I would do a lot of things differently with my life, as far as like not work all the time, go on more trips, things like that. Also, there's benefits into like obviously financially, what's going to happen with the economy, things like that. But I think that'd be where I would go: is the ability to see the future, kind of prepare myself for the bad things that are going to happen, uh, look forward to the good things that are going to happen, and use that to hopefully help as many people as possible. So, not nearly as spicy as you thought it was going to be.
No, you almost brought a tear to my eye, actually. Wouldn't it just be easier to just be able to accept the moment, whatever is right now, instead of having to know what's coming?
See,
You
the
know what
only
I
thing I would really, yes, the only thing I would really like to know is like, when am I going to pass away?
Oh, so you just want to know. So your superpower should just say, "I want to know when I'm going to die."
yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how. I don't want to know how. I don't want to know anything. I just want to know if I have 72 hours or if I have 72 years, because then how I'm going to live my life is vastly going to be different.
Well, Rob, I don't want to jump you if you have a really good one that
Go
fits
ahead.
in, but my superpower, if I could have anything, it would be like universal knowledge. I don't really necessarily care about the future so much as I want to know everything. I just like, and that includes like what happens.
Isn't that the villains in a lot of movies?
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Um, I want to know what happens like after you pass away. I want to be. Obviously, everybody has formulated beliefs on these things, but I want to know for certain. And if you know for certain, then it's much easier, in my opinion, to accept something, especially something like that. Tony wanted to get deep, so here we go.
Speaking of
But
getting deep, X-ray vision would be pretty good too. You know what I'm saying?
oh my god,
There it is. I was waiting for it.
I know. I know. This is more along the lines that we expected you to go.
I mean,
Tony.
how sweet would that be? All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Um, I guess the problem would be if you have all of the knowledge in the world, then you probably I would want to share it with everybody, and personal experience is it trumps like everything else. So if you know something, that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody else understands it also. If you know something to be true, that doesn't mean someone else also does. Therefore, it doesn't really do you any good to know everything and try to explain that and share that with other people, because if they don't know it also to be true in their experience, then it won't mean as much to them. So you can tell them what happens after death, but if they don't experience it themselves and they don't know themselves, then it doesn't mean anything to them. Show me show me the meaning of being lonely. I feel like you guys are just letting me hang here. But
We haven't talked about this on the pod, but we all know, or I guess Rob and I know, that you are a lot deeper than we are, and you lost.
Yeah, you think a little differently. For sure.
You lost me.
Yeah, I'm gonna do mine, and I think I'm gonna keep it a little light and something that would be fun. I think there's two here. So teleportation kind of feels like cheating. Just to be anywhere instantly would be awesome. But I think it'd be pretty cool to be able to fly.
Mhm.
That would be fun. And another one, telekinesis. I think to be able to move things with your mind would be another one that would be a lot of fun and would have more uses than maybe you would imagine. Like you could do a lot of things with that.
Have you ever tried? Question mark. Have you ever tried to move things with your mind?
No, I don't think I have.
Well,
I have.
maybe
I was drunk.
So probably when I was a kid. I mean, I think every kid probably tries at some point. But in my adult life, no, I wouldn't say I have. Have you tried?
I think it'd be so fun watching people's reaction if you did it with your mind.
I bet you've moved a lot more with your
You
mind
do
than
in
you
public.
think you have. Rob.
Yeah.
I would say that I bet you've moved a lot more with your mind than you think you have. And I might just leave it at that. But
I feel like we're getting deep here. Now we're
no.
going on a whole different thing.
But
Are you talking like manipulating things? Like, is that?
You're talking about
manifesting? Yeah, like manifesting things. Making things come into fruition. Not only that, but if you think of the most disgusting thing that you can think of, and then you imagine taking a bite of that, you literally are using your thoughts in your mind to, like, it might give you a curdling feeling in your stomach. Therefore, you just made a thought into a physical reaction in your body. So you moved something with your mind.
You moved with your mind, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Now, how about that box over there? Can I move that with my mind?
I don't know about the box. All right.
Okay, we'll work on
Maybe
that.
if you focus really hard, become one with the box, and maybe it'll move.
I will practice every day.
All right, that is this week's episode. The Bills.
Wait. The reason we got deep on the listener question of the week is because we're moving on from the listener question of the week. Not from the podcast. We're not moving on from the podcast. The podcast is going to be here. But we have a surprise week. We're going to be, or soon, we're going to be bringing somebody else on. We're going to have a fourth Ultraflex friend joining us. So, in order to get our time within an hour still, because we want to be able to keep this show under an hour, we had to get rid of a segment, listener question of the week, because no one participated in sending us questions. We're losing that, and we're adding that fourth personal segment, which should be fun, and we hope you guys all enjoy it.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah.
The fourth person. That's this week's segment of Ultraflex Football Podcast. The Bills are the number 1 seed. You got a big division game this week against the Jets, and an even bigger one against the Dolphins.
Huge
So,
stretch coming up.
Thanks for listening this week. And as Ryan said, we'll be back next week or potentially the week after, depending on the logistics of everything, with a new friend to talk about football and anything else we want to talk about. Have a good week.
And go Bills.
What's up, Ultraflexers? Thank you for listening to our show. We appreciate all of you for your support. If you would like to support us even more, we have a website, ultraflexfootball.com. Or if you would like to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube, that would be great. We would also really appreciate it if you would rate our show. Unless, of course, if you don't like it, then maybe make a donation on our website so that we can make the show even better just for you. You can also leave us a voicemail on our website if there's something you'd like to share, and then maybe we'll play it on the podcast. Once again, we appreciate all of you, and we look forward to talking random stuff again next week. Oh yeah, and some football.